You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, the #1 rated robot-related podcast in Northeastern Ontario.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rusted Robot Podcast for May 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2017. This is episode 152.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO, Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus, a Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. Any new listeners? Glad to have you guys. This is going to be the wrap-up coverage of the 2017 Northern Ontario Expo. This will be the Rusted Robot's 4th year covering this event. So, lots to talk about. We got a lot of clips. Before we start, if you're new to the podcast, you can find it on Twitter at The Rusted Robot. The email address for the podcast is therustedrobot@gmail.com. And find me on Instagram. My name is Sean Vanderloo, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter personally at Darth Vaderloo. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the podcast. It was a fantastic event this year. Saturday we ran from 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening, and Sunday was 10 to 5. And I think everybody had a great time. It was fantastic, exhausting, and we didn't finish tearing down on the Sunday until 9:30 at night. So that's why the podcast didn't come out on its regular Sunday schedule, but it's Monday. It's just a day late. So here we are. And why don't we go ahead? We'll jump right in. I got a lot of clips. I went around talking to the artists and the vendors and the cosplayers and so on and so forth. And I had so much fun. The weekend is a blur, but I met a lot of great people. What I'm going to do here, the first clip I wanted to play was Jason, the president of the Northern Ontario Expo.
All right, so I'm here with my good buddy,
Jason Dennis.
And what do you do here?
I just kind of sit around and I'm the president of the Northern Ontario Expo.
And how long have you been doing this for?
The Expo itself has been in existence for 7 years.
This is our 7th year?
This is our 7th year, yep. The first 5 years was in conjunction with the Schumacher Lions Club, but the last 2 years we've been our standalone show.
And how long have you been thinking about getting an Expo off the ground for?
Oh my goodness.
All your life?
No, it's been a good 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Ever since I started going to the Fan Expo in Toronto, I've always wanted to try and bring something like this to Timmins. So
we needed it, right?
Well, I think we're showing now that there is a demand for it, and we've got vendors coming in from Toronto, we've got artists from Chicago, New Jersey coming in, so they wouldn't be coming here unless we were on to something. So.
Well, that's right. And this is our 2nd year solo.
That's correct.
And how do you find it changed from last year?
The crowd's a little different in regards to the number of attendants. Last year, when the doors opened at 10 o'clock, we had a big rush, and then the rest of the day tended to run a little smoothly. This morning was a little slower, but as the day went on, it picked up. So it's hard to judge these events from year to year. So, but
it is.
But we're still happy with the attendance. We're having good support, and tomorrow should be even busier because we've got our costume contest tomorrow.
That's right. And this year we're not on Mother's Day weekend.
That's the other thing. Last year as well, we had an amazing Saturday, and then with Mother's Day weekend, which was no one's fault. There was quite a bit of drop, but this year we're not on Mother's Day, so we're hoping for a really good turnout on the Sunday.
That's right. And if people wanted to know more about us, is there a website we could find?
There certainly is. If you go to www.northernontarioexpo.com, you can find all our contact information, our upcoming events, and you can really just find out what we're all about.
And don't we have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
And an Instagram account?
Yes, we do. And Mr. Vanderloo is the social media coordinator for the expo. So if anyone has any questions or wanted to look into it further, contact Sean, and he'd be more than happy to take care of you. He does a great job with the social media, so we're happy to have him.
All right. Well, thanks for being part of the interview here on the Rusted Robot podcast, and thanks for bringing this to Timmins.
No problem, Sean. Thank you.
So that's Jason. Yeah, he's done a great job these last. I guess this was the 7th event that we've had, the 2nd at the Archie Dillon Sportsplex, and we're having a great time. Can't wait to see everybody back next year. What can you really say about the Northern Ontario Expo? It's the Expo of the North, and we're loving it, and it's bringing much needed culture to the city. Some people came from out of town. Lots of people came from out of town, like Jason said, from all over the place. Even from the United States. So we're really honored to have these people here. What I did was I went around, both on the Saturday and the Sunday, getting little mini interviews from people, and I've got some kind of an order to them here. I'm not going to play them in the order that I did the interviews in, but what I wanted to do was play the Superhero Squad. All right, everybody. Now I'm here with a big group of superheroes. We've got
Brampton Iron Man, the real Canadian Superman,
Symbiote Spidey,
Burlington Batman.
All right, guys. And if you guys want to tell us a little bit about what you're supporting and what you're promoting.
So we're here supporting the Comic Corps of Canada, which is a volunteer organization that delivers donated comic books to kids in hospitals as superheroes.
Very good.
Got to support the Comic Corps, but we're also here to support the nerd culture.
Nerd culture is important.
Same thing, Comic Corps and the nerd culture as well.
I'm here to support Brampton Iron Man.
Well, that's awesome. That's good, man. Well, thanks for being part of the 2017 NOE, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So that was 4 guys dressed up in amazing costumes, and a lot of fun. They got a lot of attention from all the different guests and so on. And we all had a lot of fun talking to them and taking pictures. And you can see the pictures on my Instagram at Darth Vader Lou, but you can also see the pictures on the Northern Ontario Expo Instagram account, which I also run at Northern Ontario Expo. The one thing that I didn't get to do was speak with all of the various artists and vendors and cosplayers. There were so many people, so many crowds. I couldn't actually get to speak to every single person, but I got a good amount of people and talked to them all and had a lot of fun. What I did do though was I went around and I picked up as many different business cards as I could possibly find from people. One of the guys that I meant to talk to and have an interview with, but we never got a chance, was a guy from Distant Field Productions who is running the Northern Frights Festival. And that's northernfrightsfestival.com, which is going to be at the Sudbury Theatre Centre, October 21st of this year. I can't remember the guy's name because he was super busy and people all around him. But he made a little film. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. What I did do was pick up his program for the Northern Frights Festival, which is in October. And if I can make it to Sudbury for that time, then I'm definitely going to go see all these films. He's got a Mad Matinee, and he's got an Evil Evening, and it looks like a whole pile of various short films. So that's pretty exciting, actually. So if you want to check that out, go to Sudbury, and also go to northernfrightsfestival.com. So further along the outside of the track of the arena, I came across all kinds of different people, but I came across Mark DeRoche, and he is not only a Klingon cosplayer, he's also the official photographer for the Northern Ontario Expo. So let's hear what he had to say.
Okay, and now I'm here with the NOE official photographer, Mark DeRoche.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you today, buddy?
Oh, it's awesome. It's been a phenomenal weekend.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's just so many beautiful sights and just interesting things going on here from a photographer's point of view. It's just, it's like nirvana.
Awesome. Now, you're here with the Crimson Dawn Klingon Assault Group.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing double duty. I'm the official event photographer. I'm also a member of the CAG, and I'm doing a lot of great photos of the cosplayers and the children, and we're letting people get dressed up as a Klingon and taking photos of them as well. So it's been great.
Awesome. What made you decide to become a Klingon?
You know what? It's just a way to not be so serious in life and have fun. And when you get in character like that, you can just not be yourself and not worry about what people think.
And who doesn't like to have fun?
Oh, exactly. And you know what? The Klingons in town are the funnest group of people you'll ever meet.
Are
Everybody thinks Klingons are always angry. No, Klingons are always passionate. Whether it's about having fun or battle, they're passionate people and they love to have fun. And there isn't a more fun group of people in Timmins.
Not that I've come across.
Yeah, they're great.
And so people who aren't here at the expo and would like to check out your photography, do you have a website?
MarkDurocher.com, MarkDurocher.com. But some of my more recent stuff is more on Facebook. If you just search for Mark Durocher Photography on Facebook, that's where my more recent work is posted.
Perfect. Thanks for being part of the show.
Great. Thank you.
So that was great, Mark. Thanks for being part of the expo. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do the little mini interview that we just did. He also took all the pictures for the costume contest, the cosplay contest, which was held on Sunday, and that was a great big success. This year we had 3 categories. We had the adult, the teen, and the child under 12 contest. The winner of the child contest was a Five Nights at Freddy's character. The winner of the adult category was also a Five Nights at Freddy's character. And the teen category was, I'm not even sure what the name of the character was. He was dressed all in black and he had a great big hammer with a sword that came out of it, and it was pretty cool. So that was a lot of fun, actually. I got to put everybody up on the stage and make sure they got there safely and direct them and everything. So that was a lot of fun. And speaking of having a lot of fun, the first people I actually talked to at the expo on the Saturday were the people from Jump City Comic Books. So we'll go ahead and we'll play their clip right there.
And another big attraction at the 2017 Northern Ontario Expo is the Jump City booth. How are you girls?
We're doing great. We're hella good.
Who are you guys?
I'm Kevin from Ghostbusters.
Also known as?
Kevin.
What's your real name?
Rick Moranis.
Okay, you try. What's your real name?
I'm Kitty from Jump City Comics. Oh, I'm Julie from Julie City Comics.
Julie City? Are you tired?
Yeah. Okay, let's try it again.
Where could I find your comic book store if I was not at the NOE?
229 Pine Street South. Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
Fantastic. And how are you enjoying the show this year?
It's actually going pretty good. Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Pretty darn good.
I'm glad to hear it.
I believe we've been told we have the best booth here.
I believe it. I've walked around several times.
Some people have said that quite a bit.
I
believe it too, though, because we brought the whole store with us.
Yeah, I can see that. It's quite a bit of stuff here.
It's very full.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being part of this year's NOE.
Yeah, thanks for being part of our shop. Hooray!
And of course, as regular listeners know to the podcast, we're always promoting the heck out of Jump City Comic Books because my regular co-host for the podcast, Josh, is actually married to Kitty from Jump City. We always manage to sneak them in there somehow. So the main thing I want any new listeners to know is that we do put out a podcast usually every Sunday. It comes out every week, unless one of us is out of town or there's some kind of major thing happening. And I'm hoping here that on this podcast that we're having right now, all the various clips are not having bad sound quality because we were in an arena and I was recording off of my phone with a little mini microphone. So the sound quality might not be the best, but I'm going to clean it up as best as I can, and hopefully you guys can all hear everything just fine.
If you're loving this podcast, you should tell a friend about it.
Spread the word about podcasts you think they would enjoy. There's something for everyone, from entertainment and lifestyle
To news and politics
and more. Share it on social media. Believe it or not, some people don't know how great podcasts are,
or even how to find and listen to them.
You can help change that with a click. Tell your friends about your favorite podcast.
Thanks for spreading the word.
Now, in addition to Jump City, there was another booth, and it's called the Vintage Queen. And we've got a clip from her, and she often sells her stuff at Jump City. So we'll go ahead and listen to the Vintage Queen clip.
Okay, and now I'm in the vendor area, and I'm at the Vintage Queen store, owned and operated by Rachel Hamlin. How are you today?
I'm doing good, you?
I'm fantastic. How long have you been doing this?
I have my eBay store. I've been doing this for about 12 years, and my handmade crafts that I just got into has been about a year. So I make fall core and all that stuff that we kind of grew up with.
And you sell some of your stuff at Jump City Comics?
Yes, I do. That's how it all got started. The girls approached me, and they asked me to make some stuff that clients were asking for, but you can't find in the stores anymore.
True.
So it was a lot of fun. Brought back the nostalgia and memories.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Now, yesterday I came by and you had a bunch of Thundercats action figures from 1985, and I had to buy them.
Oh yeah, well those ones I found in Michigan. I'm a picker. I have an eBay store. I've been doing that for about 12 years.
12 years as well.
It started with Atari and Commodores. I used to buy them and fix them and sell them on eBay. And televisions, Colecos, and then it kind of spread into the stuff I grew up with, which is really hot right now. And now I figured this year I'd try out my booth, see what people are into, see what people like, and get feedback too.
Are you making a killing?
Oh yeah, I'm doing really well.
Good, and you have a lot of vintage things here.
Yeah, I've got an original Light Bright. I've got a 1983 Smurf board game that's still sealed.
Oh wow!
And I also get my hands on any kind of vintage comforters and pillowcases, anything I could get from our childhood.
Oh yeah, a lot of fabric things here I see.
Yeah.
Especially Star Wars and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and if it's damaged, I repurpose them into scarves, into pillowcases, into anything that the adults can put on their bed or wear without any guilt.
Right, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody is not here this weekend and wanted to find your stuff online, how would we do that?
Yeah, so you go on eBay, you look at eBay stores, and you go under Deals from the North, and that's my store. I have usually over 200 items at one time, and if someone's interested in it and they're from Timmins, they can easily come by and pick it up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being part of the expo.
All right, thank you.
And like I said in the clip, I got Thundercats toys from them on the Saturday, 5 of them for $20, and I couldn't pass it up. I know I'm trying to reduce my amount of collection, do a little bit of a minimalist kind of thing. It's not really working that great because I've still got a lot of stuff, and I'm actually planning on having a Rusted Robot toy store booth at next year's expo, so I hope you'll all come out for that. What I wanted to do is talk a little bit more about the business cards that I got from everybody. I've got them all strewn out across here. These are just people that happen to be at the expo, either vendors or cosplayers or artists or whatnot. And so one of the ones I got here was a pretty fancy looking business card from the Canadian Comic Bin. That's the CanadianComicBin.com, selling graded back issue comic books around the world. And they have a really nice business card with a bunch of superheroes on it. So that's really good. Another comic book guy there was the Cats Graphics Collectible Comics, and they buy, sell, and trade. And they are based out of, actually it doesn't say where they're based out of, but you can reach them. Orders at thecatsgraphics.com, and that's graphics, Grafix, and they're on Facebook as well. And another one is the Comic Connection, which is comicconnectionoakville.com. Comics and collectibles, sports cards, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. And that's a really cool card too. It's like a superhero guy on the business card, which is nice. So I checked out all those guys, and I actually managed from one of them to pick up a first appearance of Bishop in the Uncanny X-Men. And as most of our regular listeners know, my son's name is Bishop, so I couldn't turn that down. Not too far from the Vintage Queen, where Mark DeRoche was taking pictures and whatnot, we have the Crimson Dawn Klingon Assault Group. And why don't we hear from them?
All right, still in Cosplay Alley when I came across a group of Klingons. What do you call a group of Klingons?
Death.
Who are you?
I am Majvik of the House McNarge.
Scary. And you?
Taj Draka.
I am Klarnock of the House McNarge.
Very good, very good. And what's going on here? What are you guys supporting? What are you promoting? What are you doing?
We are planning to take over a park in a town called Vulcan, Alberta. We're going to take it over for the Klingon Empire.
Well, good luck with that. Or kapla.
We're gathering signatures from humans and other attendees of this event in support of our project.
Okay, and if people aren't at the event, the 2017 Northern Ontario Expo, is there a way to go on the website or somewhere to do this?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page set up, facebook.com/KlingonWay, and there is information there for how to email their support to the tourism director of Vulcan.
Shannon at vulcantourism.com.
Well, that sounds like a very worthy goal.
Kapla!
All right, well, anything else you guys want to talk about?
The other thing that we're doing today is we're raising awareness and financial support for the programs of Science Timmins. They have programs available for people of all ages, including a full woodworking workshop and a maker space, as well as a science museum. It's a wonderful place. We'd like people to check it out. Come over, talk to us about it. We can answer your questions and discuss where it is and the kinds of things that you might be interested in learning about there.
Well, that's fantastic. And if I wanted to dress up as a Klingon, how would I do that? Is there a way to do that?
Go to www.cag.org/join to sign up to join our group. We're cosplayers from all over the world, including makeup artists and professional prop designers who actually worked on the television program, and we're more than willing to help you in the process of making your own equipment.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for all your information, folks.
Kapla!
I'm, of course, part of the Crimson Dawn Assault group, but I don't have my uniform, I don't have my head ridges, and I've been so busy doing the podcast and being on the board for the Northern Ontario Expo, I really haven't had a chance to do much. I'm hoping that this year, coming up, I'll be able to do more. And speaking of cosplay, one of the main attractions is Chris de St. Croix, and he is the Timmins Soul Taker, and he's won several prizes at some of our events, and he's spent a lot of time on this costume. And I actually managed to go ahead and get a quick interview with him when he was finally able to take a break from all the different people, because people were snapping pictures, and of course he's on stilts, and he's probably 10 feet high with that, so he gets a lot of attention. So let's hear what Chris had to say.
All right, now I'm here with an amazing cosplayer. We've got Chris de St. Croix. How are you today, buddy?
Good, yourself?
I'm not too bad. What costume do you have here? What do you call it exactly?
Call it the Timmins Soul Taker.
Timmins Soul Taker, okay. And how long did it take you to design and make this thing?
This is going on over 50 hours of hand sewing and 30 hours of braiding. And no sewing machine ever touched it. It's 5 leather jackets put together and some table leg stilts, as well as some scrap vacuum pieces, gas masks, a Halloween mask, and anything else I could find to throw it together. It's heavily inspired by Jim Henson, Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands type of thing, a lot of puppeteering.
Yeah, it definitely has that look to it.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. And so last year at the Expo you were here, right?
Yeah.
And you won the costume contest.
Yeah.
You did. And did you also win the Halloween costume contest as well?
Yeah, I won a 50-inch on that time for the Halloween contest at the Ramada Inn, and then I won last year here a little BB-8 robot that the gracious people at Best Buy, both times actually, gave me that to win.
Excellent. Now, do you have any advice for somebody who wants to get into cosplay?
Just build. Cosplay is all about being your own character and seeing something that you wanted a certain way that you could imagine a different way and build it your way and then be that character.
Excellent advice.
Yeah.
Do you have like a Facebook page that you have to promote yourself?
Yeah, it's called Timmins Soul Taker. And lots of pictures. If you get pictures of me, post them up, and I'd gladly reply with any advice to cosplayers out there as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being part of the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was great, Chris. Thanks a lot for that. And it really makes me want to go back to my Borg costume that I had last year for the Expo and really do some more work on it. You're definitely an inspiration. Speaking of inspirations, we had Candy cosplay and Angelic Luca cosplay. Very gorgeous cosplay girls here at the Expo. It was fantastic to see them, and we got a quick interview with them.
Okay, now for a great big treat. I'm here with 2 amazing cosplayers. Who do we have?
I am Candy Cosplay.
And I'm Angelic Luca Cosplay.
And where are you guys from?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Oh, you're both from Hamilton.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you traveled up together?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you getting a lot of interactions from the people?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Taking pictures 100 times a day?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, if people who aren't here this weekend want to see your work and know more about you, where would we find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Candy's Cosplays, and everything on Twitter and Instagram is the same.
Okay, perfect. And
okay, you can find me on Facebook. Just search Angelic Luca Cosplay. And I'm also on Instagram, same name.
Perfect. Well, thanks for being part of the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks for that, girls. That was really awesome. You definitely drew a lot of attention with your outfits, and I don't want to say too much more than that because I might get myself in trouble. So I'm just going to move on and look at some more of these business cards that I have. One of them was from Erica Duchesne of Drawn to Unearth, and you can find her at drawntoUnearth.com. She did a lot of great black and white sketches and various things like that, so she was there, and I was glad to see her. Didn't get an interview, didn't have time. Another one was Larry Butler. He's a local artist from Timmins, actually. He does hand-drawn graphic portraits, and I never got to speak to him, but looking at his business card, he's got a really cool Willie Nelson picture, and on the back is Jack Nicholson as the Joker, some girl I don't recognize, but probably should, and a dog that is looking super lifelike. So that's Larry Butler. He's pretty cool. And what else have I got here? I've got, actually, the next person on my list of clips is Eric, and he's the guy who brought in the Ghostbusters car. That was a huge draw.
All right, and now just next to the cosplay people, we've got a fancy car here. I'm with Eric from
DeLorean Entertainment, and you are standing in front of the Ecto 1A from Ghostbusters 2.
And it's a fantastic replica.
Yes, it's actually from Universal. We purchased it from them directly.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and it was used during their October month on their Spooktacular, which was their Halloween event down at the theme park. Built by the same people that built it for the second movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's signed by Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd, and Sigourney Weaver, who I've worked with at many different shows.
Oh, you have? You've met them all?
Oh, yeah. I was just actually worked with Ernie last weekend.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah, so,
wow.
yeah, I've had good fortune in car meeting a lot of the stars from the movie.
Oh, that's awesome. And how long have you been involved with this kind of...
I've been doing the cars for about 9-10 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you have different kinds?
Yeah, we started out with the Scooby-Doo van, which I still have, the Mystery Machine.
Nice.
And I got to work with Matt Lillard a few times.
Okay.
Who was the voice of Shaggy, also from Scream fame.
Yes.
I have the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Oh, wow.
Which is signed by the entire cast. I work with Michael a lot since I'm located in New Jersey.
Oh, that's where you're from. Okay.
We travel.
Yeah.
But I get a chance to work with him with the Parkinson's Research Foundation. We also have the Flintstones car.
Okay.
The one from Viva Rock Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the new Ghostbuster car from the new movie. We have a 66 Batmobile replica.
Oh, wow.
Which we worked with George Barris before he passed. About the last 6-7 years of his life.
Okay.
He would come up to the East Coast instead of dragging a car across country.
Yeah.
We would be his guy. We have a 66 Bat Cycle. We're currently in production. We're building a replica of the Truckster from Vacation.
Oh, wow.
We have a couple shows with Chevy Chase coming up at the end of the year.
Oh, is that ever neat?
We're doing a reunion.
So you get to do a lot of traveling?
Oh, yeah. We get to meet a lot of really great people.
Oh, that's fantastic. And if somebody wanted to hire you or learn more about you, is there a website?
Yeah, my website is DeLorean Entertainment. And right under will have my phone number, we'll have my email address. And, we entertain all different types of things. We do a lot of fundraising. So, one of our big things is that we do get some great paid jobs and things like that, but we also feel we need to give back. We're fortunate enough to have the vehicles, so we like to make sure that we give back. So if you have a worthwhile cause or some type of an organization that you're trying to raise money for, feel free to reach out to us and see if we can work with you.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for coming to Northern Ontario.
Oh my God, you know what? What an amazing road trip I had up here. 16 hours from New Jersey, but let me tell you, beautiful country up here.
It is.
I would come up again tomorrow just because I think it's just a really beautiful place. It's kind of still untouched.
It is.
And I love all the pine trees. I like all the bodies of water that I got to pass and all the cool lake homes. So guess what? Any chance to get me to Canada, don't be shy. Call me.
Well, maybe we'll see you next year too then.
Excellent. I hope so.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I guess it's not really a business card. It's more of like almost like a postcard, and it's what he's booking for now. It's the Back to the Future DeLorean time machine, and maybe that's what we'll be having next year if we're lucky. And you can always reach him, email cheferic11@msn.com, and I really can't wait to see the DeLorean. I sat in one once, and it's really cramped and crowded in there. It's cool, but not very comfortable. So thanks for coming to the show, Eric. We definitely appreciate it. That was fantastic. On a totally different note, I talked to a very nice lady, and she wants to bring culture to the north as well. And so I'm going to go ahead here and play the clip about saving the LaSalle.
And now I'm here with Chrissy Bowman.
Yeah, and I'm here with Save the LaSalle. We're a theater group based out of Kirkland Lake, so just a small drive away. And we kind of have two veins that we focus on. One is we have an old theater in Kirkland Lake called the LaSalle that was kind of left to sit and
in ruins,
yeah. And part of what we do is we're trying to resurrect it. It has the capabilities for movie and live performances.
Oh, nice.
So we're trying to get that going. as well as we do have our own little theater company that we do performances. We can't in our theater yet, but that's why we do great things like Shakespeare in the Park, where we do outdoor theater.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and the first 2 years of Shakespeare in the Park was just in Kirkland Lake. Last year we traveled also to Rouen, Quebec, and now we're hoping to make some connections so we can travel the show to Timmins as well.
Well, that's fantastic. We can always use some culture here in the north, right? Now, if somebody wanted to help support the LaSalle, is there a website that we could go to?
We have a website, savethelsalle.com. LaSalle is LASALLE. We also have a Facebook page. It's just if you search LaSalle Theater, it's a place page, not a group page. But it should pop up. Again, we're in Kirkland Lake, not Sudbury, or there's a couple other ones that come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. Well, it's a great idea to come here and get the exposure and whatnot.
Yeah.
So glad you came.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we're here.
Thank you.
So, Shakespeare in the Park, that sounds fantastic. We can always use more culture here in the north because it's few and far between. And with the expo, with the Klingon Assault Group, with the local artists and some authors and whatnot, and even this podcast, we're bringing culture to the north slowly but surely.
Hey, this is Stephen Amell, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. I'm hanging with Sean and Bridget right now. They're telling me all about podcasts and general geekery and fun times in Northern Ontario, so keep listening.
And another group not too far away were the Mandalorian Marks. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip here.
All right, so further along in the cosplay contest lane, we've got the Mandalorian Mercs costume clubs. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Good. So you're the...
So I am the Russalor, so that's the Sergeant at Arms of the Mandalorian Mercs in Ontario, and this is...
I'm Calvin. I'm the Alorad, which is the commanding officer of the Quebec clan. But they have a Alorad themselves as well.
Oh, okay, and how long have you guys been cosplaying for?
I started working with this about 3 years ago. I started building, and then it's never ending.
It never stops, right?
About the same time, 4 years.
Okay.
And yeah, just upgrades all the time.
Because you can never really finish your costume.
Nope.
No, it's a long process where you continue to make improvements. You find out that you can sit better if you do something else, and then you cut and trim. So unfortunately, our Alorad here can't sit down, so he's a little jealous of how we sit.
Ah, I see.
So,
I have a jetpack, so it makes it difficult.
yes, of course. So, and we're raising money for the Timmins and District Humane Society. So today has been absolutely wonderful. We've seen a really good turnout for the people here who have been extremely supportful of shooting Jar Jar in the face, and then also a little for Ewok to try and take revenge for what happened to the Empire in Endor.
Of course, right. Okay.
Yeah, and then we got a little bit of a coloring booth as well, which is
pretty popular, I see.
Has seen some very interesting designs from children and adults alike.
I
who
can
have
just
chosen
imagine.
That, so.
Oh yeah. All right, and if somebody wanted to join your costume club, how would that happen?
Mostly it's just getting in touch with the local clan in the region. So they're all separated by provinces.
Okay.
So Ontario and Quebec. And then it's just getting in touch with them and going through the procedure and making an armor and getting approved.
Okay. And is there like a overall website if somebody wanted to check you guys out?
Yep.
Or
there's mandalorianmercs.org. So it's
MANDALORIANMERCS.org.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Or you just type Google Mandal Mercs and
you'll find us.
Yeah,
all right.
We're pretty big.
Well, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks so much
No
for your
problem.
time.
And they're really cool. They were not too far from the cosplay girls and from the Klingons, and almost right beside the Ghostbusters car. And they definitely got a lot of attention. They all look like various versions of Boba Fett, and they were doing charity work. And you got to shoot a Nerf gun through a target, and I can't remember what they were raising money for, but they definitely got a lot, and so that was fantastic as well. More business cards here. What have I got? I've got the Crimson Dawn business card, Klingon Assault Group, which is keg.org/join. Then I've got Climb and Fun, which is a rock wall, a gyroscope, laser tag, a rope challenge, and waxed hands, and that's climbandfun.com. And she had a lot of attention too, actually. You can make wax hands, and I saw some of those, and they're creepy fun, so you should definitely look at that. I've got a business card here for Vintage Queen, and that was, of course, Rachel Hamlin, and all her information was in the clip that I played earlier. Another guy that I came across is odysseyart.net or Brian C. Roll. He's an artist, a writer, a creator, and a fan. And he does a lot of great work. And I know Jason is a big fan of his. And so it was nice to see him at the expo again. Just a little bit further away was Stardust Gremlin, which is handmade plushies and jewelry. Her name is Erica Molinar, and you can reach her stardustgremlin@gmail.com, and you can find her on Etsy and also on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram, I'm sure. So she had a lot of cool stuff. I never got to have an interview with her, but she was doing a killing at her corner, and it was good to see somebody local there. Just further down the artist alley. Okay, this was good. I don't even have his business card, unfortunately, but his name is Rob, and I just called him Rob the Zombie Guy because it was kind of funny, and we had a little quick interview with him.
All right, so then I just wandered around the vendors and whatnot, and I came across Artist Alley, and I'm sitting here with
Rob Sacchetto at zombieportraits.com.
And how are you finding the turnout for this year's expo?
Really good, as always.
And you've been here before?
I've been here 2 times before. This is my 3rd time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And so you're a zombie portrait artist.
I'm a zombie portrait artist. I actually invented the service way back in 2006. We looked around, no one was doing it. So I basically started the first service of its kind and been doing it ever since.
Well, that's cool. And where are you based out of?
Sudbury, Ontario.
Oh, that's not very far from here at all.
Not very far at all.
And do you have a website?
Yeah, it's just zombieportraits.com, and all basically the whole transaction can be done online.
Okay.
So you send the photo, the payment, everything, and I send you an actual hand-painted portrait in the mail.
Oh,
so
wow.
you get the actual original.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what does something like that run?
For a single portrait, so like one person, it's a 9 by 11 size, or 9 by 11 inch size rather, for $90.
Okay.
Couples is 12 by 15 inches in size, and that's $180.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long would something like that take you?
I can usually turn it out in about a week. Okay. So if it's like, say, ordered Monday, for example, I could have it out by like Wednesday, and usually to the person in the mail by the following Friday or Monday.
Oh,
so,
well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of like wedding requests, maybe?
Tons of wedding requests, lots of pets, family portraits. It's crazy. Like, it's all over the map.
So you're super busy.
Super busy, yeah.
That's what you want, right?
I do.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Thanks for being part of the expo.
Yeah, thank you.
And so that was Rob. And actually, after I turned off the microphone, we talked for about another 15-20 minutes, and I wish I would have recorded all that, because that would have made a nice supplemental to the podcast. He's a really cool guy, had an epic goatee, must have been 6 or 8 inches long, and he did a lot of various zombie artistry. And I wish I would have had enough money for everything, because there was so much stuff. I could almost call this podcast 30 miles of pop vinyls, because there were so many pop vinyls. You could have easily filled 2 houses with them, between the t-shirt sellers and the pop vinyl sellers and all the hats that you could have bought, and various different action figures. And there was a guy from Great Collectibles who came up, and he had a lot of cool stuff. He had an Art Asylum signed action figure from William Shatner. It was a little bit out of my price range at $160, but it was super fantastic. I wish I could have got it. He had a whole pile of Lucille bats, from The Walking Dead. Those were fantastic as well. And he had miles of pop vinyls too, and sold a whole pile of those. He actually went for a pee break, and I got to man his booth, and I sold a Slash from Guns N' Roses pop vinyl, so that was cool. And across from him was Roland Lejeunesse. He's the Star Wars guy here in Timmins, and he actually made a trash compactor from Star Wars. So he was raising money for cystic fibrosis, and all he had to do was take a picture in the trash bin. And that was really cool. And then not too far from Rob the Zombie Guy was a really nice lady, Laura Lee, and of Granny Bird Productions. In fact, looking through my business cards, I've actually got 2 of hers. And she's got a really cool bird on the back, actually. She's a fantastic artist. So why don't we go ahead and listen to what Laura Lee had to say.
All right, and further along Artist Alley, I'm here with Laura Lee Gillard of Granny Bird. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Now, I see you've got a lot of different styles of art prints here.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this for?
I've been an artist my whole life, but I recently just started painting again about a year and a half ago after taking a 10-year break.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your main style, would you say?
Hard to say what my main style is. I use a lot of acrylics and inks. I like to incorporate buttons into a lot of my work as well. And I like to build a lot of my own frames out of barn board as well.
It's really incredible, actually. That's just regular barn board.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And if somebody who's not here at the show this weekend would like to see your stuff, is there a Facebook page or a website?
Yeah,
Or...
I could be found on Instagram at Laura Lee B, and I could also be found on Facebook at Granny Bird.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Thanks for being part of the expo this year.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome to talk to her. Her husband was actually at the next booth over. I never got to speak to him because he was pretty busy. He was right on the end cap. And they both do amazing work, actually. And the barn board that they frame their pictures with, wow. It's I wish I could have afforded everything because my house would now be filled with 10 times the stuff, which doesn't really help in my goal of minimalism, but sometimes you just have to get some cool stuff. Now, speaking of cool stuff, I spoke with Luc LaRochelle, so we'll go ahead and play that clip.
All right, and further along in Artist Alley, I am here with Luc LaRochelle. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome, awesome. And how are you today?
Not bad at all.
Good. Are you making a fortune here at the expo?
Not a fortune, but I'm doing okay.
That's good, that's good. So basically, your art is all pen and ink?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been doing this for?
At least 30 years.
Wow, 30 years.
Since high school.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what would you say your main style and inspiration is?
Myself, I find like it's messy. Like Van Gogh was really messy.
Yeah.
It's not the same style as Van Gogh, but it's messy. Like
interpretive kind of thing, or
yeah. Like I go pretty quick. It's not be very careful with detail. It's just go with the flow.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah, I just go.
Okay, well, it's fantastic. I bought a Spock owl thing yesterday.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
No, definitely. That's fantastic. I'd like the original because that's pretty incredible.
I don't know if you noticed the branch.
The branch. Oh, no, I didn't see that.
It does that, right?
It's the live long and prosper symbol.
Yes, in the branch.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if people who are not here at the expo wanted to see your stuff, do you have a website or a Facebook page?
Yes. It's... I have a Luc LaRochelle website, and I also have one called When I'm High.
When I'm High.
But that's because I made a coloring book.
Okay.
With a story, funny stories, right?
When I'm High, a coloring book with a story.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And so it's whenimhigh.com?
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being part of the show this year.
No problem. I'm enjoying it very much.
Good.
He's a cool guy too. He was fun to talk to, and I guess his wife and his daughter, I believe, were there at the booth with him. I didn't ask what the relations were, but they were all very friendly, and I actually hung out with them for quite a bit and talked with them, and they were really nice. And if you didn't get to see the stuff that he did, well, you really missed out. He's actually not too far away. He's just in Sudbury, Ontario, and you can email him, luclarochelle223@hotmail.com. A lot of cool stuff, and I was glad to get the Spock as an owl. That was fantastic. Another great big draw at this year's expo. I don't even know if I can say enough good stuff about her, but Beth, or the Chalk Girl, she's amazing. You know, you better go check out her website, check out her Facebook, check out any kind of stuff that she does. She had these canvases that maybe were 6 by 8 feet, and hanging up, she had Negan with his bat, she had the Joker, and she had Princess Leia, 3 different versions of her through the ages. Those were already done by the time she got here. On the Saturday, she did Logan, 2 pictures of his face, one where he's screaming and one with his claws out, and it took her all day to do it, but the caliber of the artwork was incredible. And then on the Sunday, she did a Deadpool, and I wanted to buy every single one. I don't have enough wall space for this stuff, but if I could have, and if I would have had the money for it, I tell you, I would have bought every one, because Beth, you're amazing, Thanks for coming to the show, and I hope to see you next year.
All right, and now I'm here with an amazing artist, the Chalk Girl, Beth.
Zawalski Tobias.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How was your weekend here?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Now, this has been the busiest corner of the expo, I believe.
Oh, well, that's the first I've heard of it, but awesome.
Well, your work is amazing.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing this?
This will be going on 8 or 9 years. I started in 2009, just on my driveway. I was super bored. Then I got a job at Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. I'm all the way from Wisconsin, so we came quite a way. And I did that for 5 years, and then just last year I picked it up again, and we started the convention circuit.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And now this is just regular chalk.
Regular sidewalk chalk.
So I could just go to the store, the dollar store,
Yeah.
buy myself some sidewalk chalk.
Yeah.
I couldn't do this, though.
That's how I started.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thanks.
And if people who are not here at the expo this weekend wanted to see your work, you have some websites, some Facebook pages, Instagram, anything?
Absolutely. Our website is adventuresofchalkgirl.com. And then you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and it's all just the Chalk Girl. So just type that in. You should be able to come across something we've done.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part of the expo.
No problem.
Hope to see you next year.
Yeah, me too.
So that's it for business cards, and I only have one last interview left. It was quite an honor to actually meet and talk with George Stratman. He is a local writer. He's based out of Timmins here, and he's written 9 novels, and it's all very, very good. I actually got to sit down and read them. But here's an interview with George.
All right, further walk along the Artist Alley brings me to a great honor. I'm here with George Stratman, a local author here in Timmins. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing okay. Yourself?
I'm not too bad.
Excellent.
Now, listeners, you may have seen his billboards all over the north and other places. And how many books have you written?
I've just released my 9th novel for this show, actually. It's a debut of my 9th novel.
All right, that's fantastic. And how long have you been a writer?
I've been writing for about 30 years.
30 years, wow.
Yeah.
9 novels, 30 years?
30. I actually got into publication in 2006, so I've been churning them out at a fairly regular rate.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the base material for that was written over the first 20 years, where I sort of came up with a good catalog of stuff that I could work with.
Okay. And what are your books mainly about?
I have 2 distinct sets. I do a set of novels that are in the horror genre, horror, supernatural thriller, I suppose, genre. And my second set is epic fantasy.
Ah, okay.
So I have 2 distinct series working in both of those genres.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Now, as the listeners may know, I used to write poetry back in university, and I always thought of becoming a novelist, but never had the discipline to sit down and do it. What is your secret?
It's just a natural process for me. I think I differ from a lot of authors in the sense that my approach to creative fiction is strictly intuitive. I don't use chapter outlines and character development outlines. I've always referred to my creative process as like connecting dots, on a piece of paper or stars in the firmament to make a constellation. I just sort of work between ideas.
Okay.
So it's a very instinctive process that is really rather untraditional when it comes to the standard methodology that you might learn, say you went and took a creative writing class in university.
Right, okay.
So a very different approach, but it seems to produce a coherent product, at least I think so.
That's right. And so you don't sit and do 4 hours straight or so many words per day? Or
No, I don't have any kinds of... to be honest with you, sometimes I always describe it to... I'm the scribe of the stories I write. And this little guy working in my subconscious just will pop fully form ideas up into me and say, I've woken up in the middle of the night with an entire scene completely resolved in my mind that I'd given no thought to before at all, but boom, here it is.
There it is.
Oh, wow. And then just commit it to paper. But I don't have, okay, I'm going to sit here, because to me it's creativity. It's not rote. It's not a mechanical process. It's a creative, and it moves you when it moves you, right?
So you're very flow of conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it's and I think that it's all based on inspiration, and it's all based on... So to sit there and sort of come up with a rigid discipline, because I guess I'm trying to say that art and rigidity and discipline in a system don't mesh together in my mind,
Right.
They don't belong together.
I can certainly understand that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if listeners wanted to know more about you, do you have a website that we could go to?
I do have a website. It's www.georgestratman.weebly.com. And I'm on Facebook under the same author's name. I'm on Twitter, and my books are available through all of the major online retail vendors, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and they're also available as ebooks for people who like the electronic medium.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for being part of the Rusted Robot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the exposure. Thank you very much.
And so, thank you, George, for that. Actually, after turning off the recording device for that as well, we must have spoke for another 10 or 15 minutes, and it was really cool. I just can't say enough good stuff about him and about all the artists and all the vendors and all the things that I could have bought. It was absolutely incredible. So overall, in conclusion, I guess I just have to say that this year's expo was fantastic. I really enjoyed meeting a lot of the vendors and the artists and the cosplayers. There was one couple that had a booth right on the corner in the middle aisle. She was a redhead and he had a nice goatee, and they were from Chatham or Ottawa or somewhere down there, and he makes all his own stuff, 3D printed laser blasters, and they had laser etched coasters and all kinds of different things. They were a very interesting couple. Very glad to have met them. They were awesome. Who else did I meet? I met Sparky and Guns.
This is Sparky.
And Guns.
And you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast.
Guns or Sparky, I'm not sure which one it was, but was actually in the Groot outfit. So that was cool to meet them, actually. I met a few other people that knew me from the podcast, but I didn't really know. And made a lot of cool connections, gave out a lot of podcast business cards, and hopefully we'll have a lot of new listeners. What the board wanted me to do was thank all of our sponsors once again for helping us host this event. And a great big thank you to all the artists and the vendors and all the guests, everybody who came out and made it. All the board members deserve a big round of applause as well. And just all kinds of good stuff, guys. So glad you could make it for this edition of the Rusted Robot Podcast. And remember, you can find the podcast on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, you can find us on the Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, there's a Facebook page and a Facebook group for the podcast. What else do we have? We have email, therustedrobot@gmail.com. Find us on iTunes, find us on Stitcher, find us on TuneIn. We're everywhere you want to be. Please share the podcast, tell all your friends about it. We definitely appreciate all your support for this year's expo, and we'll see you next week on the podcast with a regular episode. So remember, the human adventure is just beginning. If you'd like to contact the show, email us at therustedrobot@gmail.com. Our website is therustedrobot.podbean.com. On Twitter, we're at therustedrobot. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. We'd be honored if you would review us on iTunes and like us on Facebook. If you'd care to support the show, there's a PayPal link on the website, or go to patreon.com/Darth Vaderloo. Please check out Jump City at 229 Pine Street South in Timmins. And as always, if you like what you heard, let us know. But most importantly, tell your friends about us. The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
I could do this all day.
Dressing up, I can show you worlds of fantasy. Be anyone you wanna be. You could be Batman, even if you weigh 300 pounds. Head up and Terry Comic-Con and Comic-Con. You could be the Hulk, even if you look like you're 12 years old. That's what a muscle suit is for. You could be Snow White. We all know it's not a comic book. Get up and Siri Comic-Con. At Comic-Con. At Comic-Con.
What, you think your costume is better than mine?
This has been a Valley of Vanderloo podcast production, all rights reserved.
This transmission ends now.